The truth is I've digressed from all the feelings, so it's forever though. Like my mama's son missing, ain't no telling, do they love or did they kill him? The dominoes have fallen, we can't go back to beginning. This existential crisis, the reason I cannot keep competing and keep on living. So it's back against the world, seeing all your value once you dealt with.
I kind of got to tripping out like in my intro there. Please don't mind that. Please don't mind that, ladies and gentlemen. So there was a comment, right? We just broke down the COS play comments on story play for the D4VD situation, right? So we're just breaking down the D4VD situation right here. See what I'm saying? The video was by, it's too far, we went very far down those comments. Clear that. So yeah, it's a video by J Wisdom. Okay, so J Wisdom had us on this little piece right here, you know what I'm saying, exposing the psychological, it's basically the psychological analysis of this guy D4VD, right? And yeah, like how the influences, how, you know, these real life influences and scenarios that everybody deals with basically had him thinking that it's okay to, you know, make the kind of decisions that we learned he ended up making, especially the ones that led up to the culmination of him being in the situation with that Celeste girl that he was, you know what I'm saying? This yeah. So the reason why I say these, you know, these are some aspects that a whole bunch of people go through. So themes of being homeschooled were highlighted in this video, right? Themes of being isolated, you see what I'm saying? Being by themselves, parents having snatched him out of public schooling into private schooling, and that further exacerbating his isolation from the rest of the world, right? And him being able to end up regulating himself when it comes to his engagement with other human beings, right? Because I feel like those are the themes that we were kind of looking into. What else? Looking at him using a whole bunch of, you know, his status, like achieving what he had achieved with the music, and which is like fame and things like that, right? That sort of momentum being built, and him using that, like his position and his, you know, that position, and making the money to control people around him, right? These is what like people do every time. Like you get a whole bunch of narcissism too. That was a trait that was one of the themes, right? Narcissism, Machiavellianism, right? Psychopathy, you know, things like this. These traits are exhibited, or they are carried by a whole bunch of people within society, bro. You know what I'm saying? Honestly, you see what I'm saying? So now the whole question was, well, a comment within the comment section, right, when we was looking at the COS play pod take, was the fact that, yeah, the comment, you know, from somebody, it highlighted the fact that yes, these things are experienced by a whole lot of people, but not everybody is serial killers, because, you know, it was established even by J Wisdom at the end, sort of like at the end of the video, to be like, yo, had this man got away with, you know, this whole Celeste situation, right? Had he got away, not be caught, things like not be investigated and things like that, because I don't think things are entirely confirmed, right? We did a little bit of homework with my boy Co-Pilot. I was thinking, yo, things are confirmed, like he's guilty, blah blah. No, he's just held in custody, right, with no bond, with no bond or things like that. So, you know, nothing is solidly confirmed yet, but you know, these are the aspects though. These are the aspects that like he experienced, right? And he now used those to kind of develop the character that he developed. So the comment mentioned something along the lines of, yeah, a whole lot of people are homeschooled, but they don't end up becoming killers. They don't end up becoming, you know, they don't end up making the decisions that David ended up making. You see what I'm saying? And so therefore, with the whole David scenario, he used those real life scenarios, real dynamics that people have within their lives, but then he used that to craft the sort of psychology that like makes it okay for you to do what he did with Celeste and think you're finna get away with it. You know what I'm saying? So the question is, you know, what that has made me realize is that the question is not like what you have, you know, or the life that you are given. Yes, the elements around the life you're given may influence you to make certain decisions that you may not be proud of, certain decisions that might freaking terrorize the rest of freaking human nature, bro. You know what I'm saying? That would traumatize the rest of, but it's like, yo, you know, in the same breath, bro, you get people who are underprivileged. You see what I'm saying? Like, they literally from the bottom of the bottom barrel of society and things like that, but they can still keep a positive mindset. They can still keep a mind of just like how to construct myself. You know what I'm saying? Get myself out of this situation. And a lot of the times it does work too. You see what I'm saying? Me, like, if you ask me, the isolation demon was too overwhelming for this cat, bro. It was the isolation demon, bro. A lot of people, look, man, because look at what I think the isolation thing did with David. It made him, number one, he was into gore, right? Like horrific scenes where people, you know, DIE, limbs fly all over the spot. It's bloody. It's just bloodbath. You know what I'm saying? All this anime type stuff, bro. I mean, y'all anime people are familiar with these kind of vibes because of, like, you know, y'all preferred entertainment. Like, I get it, bro. Like, there's a whole bunch of that type of stuff. But because he was locked into that whole world in himself, like the world of consuming gore, to a point where, you know what I'm saying, he himself admitted that, yo, it made him not cringe no more. You know what I'm saying? Ended up being humorous. Ended up laughing at the shit. Again, what do you mean? You ended up laughing at, like, just like gory situation, bloody, murderous, things like that. So him being in that sort of environment and with no supervision, be like, yo, dude, this is not normal, right? This is not normal. I understand you watch it, blah blah blah, you consume it. He was at a point where he was so young, to him everything just gets in, whether it's like darkness or, you know, some positive shit, bright shit, this, that, and the third. He was still that much impressionable. But the thing is, he kept freaking consuming it though. So my whole thing was that, yo, I don't know, like, you can disagree in the comments. You can come through with like another point of contention, be like, no, you may think, no, it's not the isolation, but it's another thing that made him decide to do what he did with Celeste, and, you know, think that that was okay. You know what I'm saying? Think that he would get away with that or some shit like that, right? But this is my biggest thing about, like, why he ended up being or having the psychology that he had. It's that isolation, bro. It was so overwhelming for him to a point where he didn't realize that you're getting overwhelmed in the worst way, bro. You know what I'm saying? To a point where these sort of fruits were gonna show themselves in the future, dog, aka in 2025. Wait, when did that whole thing happen? Like his situation with RIP Celeste, you know what I'm saying? So it could only culminate up to like the situation that he found himself in, bro. Or not found himself in, like put himself in with that little girl and everybody involved around their lives. You see what I'm saying? That isolation demon was too crazy for him, bro. And for him, it also brought those sort of creative aspects, you know what I'm saying? Tapping into these worlds that probably like leave you intrigued and, you know, just entertained, you know what I'm saying? The fantasies, like the fantasies of what the fuck I'm trying to say. I kind of even forgot, you know what I'm saying? Like the fantasies where he like closed himself. Oh, no. Fantasies for the music, man. God damn. I don't know, like it's just, yeah, woozy brained right now. But no, the fantasies that he would get for ideas to, you know, construct the kind of music that he was constructing now. You know what I'm saying? The music had gore itself. The music was gory itself. You see what I'm saying? So, but then look at what the music did for him, right? It turned him up, made him lit, made him, you know, gained him all this attention, distraction, this fame, money, blah blah blah. So I feel like within his young mind, he told himself, yo, as long as I am in isolation, as long as I am by myself, bro, I'm good. You know, I will be good, because look at the results. The music is good. People are validating my shit. You know what I'm saying? They're into like my kind of content. We good. But then it carried him being desensitized to death, like, and gore and things that are wrong about society. Do you see what I'm saying? And so he leaned into that whole thing, being like, yo, my isolation is my superpower, when it was actually the slow poison to the whole situation. Okay. And then you couple that with like him having attracted somebody who's got like a poor home lifestyle, right? The kind of decisions where, you know, you're 12 years old, you run away from home, you know what I mean? And if you're David, you're like, because of these themes of, you know, narcissism, narcissistic overconfidence and things like that, thinking that, yo, whatever problems that go on with human beings or in the world, or specifically with this girl Celeste, whatever problems, yo, I can be the god that takes away all this girl's problems type shit. You know what I'm saying? So that like that sort of thought process, you know what I'm saying, having engaged with a girl like Celeste, all vulnerable, or yo, it's very toxic at home, she herself, her mental and psychology was just like Fry's game. It was gone, bro. Because, bro, look at the decisions you'd have to make to go and latch onto a guy, you know what I'm saying, like a David, having believed whatever you believe about him, and leaving your whole family behind. Gang, you're 11 years old. What are we saying, bro? Right? So